What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. NBA Talk with J Money, late night edition. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all know what we do. We just here trying to break you guys off with as much as actionable info as I can, betting info, trends, all that good stuff. How I'm looking at the games, early looks for the NBA card 119-22, guys. Let's get straight into it. It's all business. It's all the Wolves. They not treated us well. We taking a loss on the Wolves, man. It happens, my guys. Happens. Can't win every play, but I will definitely try to get some cash for you guys tomorrow. First game up. I'm just letting you know what I've looked at. Pretty much every single game except for the last four on the card. Maybe we'll get to them together here. We can break them down. First game up, guys. We got the Magic versus the 76ers here. Magic getting 12 points versus the Sixers. Obviously lost. They already lost a couple of games to these guys already this year. Obviously, the Magic are a doormat. It's crazy to say, but they're actually a lot better team than they are on the road than they are at the house. You got the Sixers here has been red hot. They're 7-2. Now you got the Magic here 7-2 against the spread last 9 road games. Unfortunately, the coach is still in health and safety protocols that came to bite them in the butt versus the Blazers. So they will miss Mobley over there. Something I'm starting to see these teams missing their coaches, head coaches. It does matter, especially for the first couple of games. It is a double revenge spot for the Magic. They already lost to the Sixers 101-96 at the house. No, that was in Philly. Philly laid minus 14 in that game. They were up. They only won by 5. And now November 29th, the Philly come to they go to Orlando, land 8.5. They get the job done 116-106. But the Magic led that game by 11 points. They had up to 11-point lead in that one, led by 1 at the end of the third quarter, extending them losing by 10. So they've showed that they can be scrappy versus the 76ers this year. Obviously, the 76ers are absolutely rolling right now. 6-0 straight up and 5-1 against the spread last 6 meetings between these two teams. They are 1-2 against the spread, favored from -10 to -12. And also you have them you got the Magic that are 2-6. Sorry, guys. The 76ers are 2-6 against the spread last 8 games at home coming off a loss. I'm pissed off right now this fucking game, but it happens, man. And that's why I capped the games before their game's even over. I don't want to cap the games thinking pissed off. You see what I'm saying? You got to cap them with a clear mind. Magic plus the 12 will be a lean there. Just no, I probably won't be betting the game. I'll be honest with you. I could see the 76ers just not caring in this game. I could see possibly Joel Embiid sitting out, possibly someone sitting out in this game. Anything can happen, but the Magic have actually shown that they can be feisty in this series. So, as like I say, double revenge spot this year. They don't have their coach. I hate that, but Magic plus the 12, the only way I can look in that one. I understand if you like the Sixers, hey, take whatever you like. They have been rolling. They are a juggernaut team, but I just don't trust them laying 12 at the house versus an unmotivating opponent, guys. So lean Magic there, but it's not a super strong game. Obviously, Magic worst fucking team in the league. They do owe me some money though, so I'll have to find a spot where the Magic can get my damn money back. Let's go over here to the streets of Washington D.C. Man, we got the Nets over here versus the Wizards. Obviously, Wizards open up at 1.5. The Nets, they got to get used to playing without KD, right? I'll say I still think that they could have. We know if you watch the game, they should have beat the Cavs. Harden the last minute, man, passed the ball away, whatever late turnover. Harden really screwed it over. Obviously, they end up losing by 7. The final score was not indicative of how that game went. Nets really stuck in there with the Cavs. This will be an interesting game because the Wizards, they've been at the house for a while. This is the 5th game of an 8-game homestand for the Wizards. They're 3-0 straight up last 4, but only 1-3 against the spread and 1-6 against the spread last 7 games as well. They finally got Bradley Beal back, so I always say that looking at certain numbers, how a team has done certain stretch, you have to look at what players were in and out there as well. Beal hadn't been playing for a while, so that's why they hadn't been covering spreads. They got him back and smacked up the Sixers by 20 first game. Like I say, Nets got to get used to playing without KD. They have one game under their belt, but KD usually torches the Wizards. He's from the Washington, D.C. area. He always usually torches the Wizards when they face them. They can still match up versus the Wizards, though, if you ask me, is they have the major guard advantage. That's my thing with the Wizards. They have Spencer Dinwiddie and Bradley Beal running the point guard. That you can't really. I mean, it's definitely not going to work in the playoffs. Maybe you can do it regular season. Beal can ball out, be the really a good assist guy. Dinwiddie can play some point guard too. They're not true point guards, guys. So this is one where, like I say, I don't know who's gonna. And one of those will have to be on Kyrie and Harden as well the whole game. That's going to take away from their offense. Those two are not necessarily the greatest defenders. The Wizards would be a lot better if they had a true point guard out there, someone to set the rest of the team up. Beal really works well off the ball, not necessarily bringing the ball up. So not really sure what this Wizards team is doing. If they had a point guard, they could be light years better. They have been balling out right now. This is a tough game, right? It's tough to ride with the Nets. They don't have a ton of size advantage. Can't wait till they get Claxton back. They do have LaMarcus Aldridge. Darren Sharp has been a good big for them, but they're really missing Claxton. They need a big over there, man. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this one. The home team is crazy, has killed it in this series. Home team is 6-1 straight up last 7 and 8-2 straight up last 10 in the series. Wizards also 6-2 against the spread last 8 meetings, guys. So be interesting to see what happens in that one. Nets 2-9 against the spread last 11 games overall. And the Wizards, it's crazy. They're 0-4 against the spread last 4 after a win, man. It's a lot of different things going on in this one, but that's a tough game. Obviously, with the spread, you're gonna see it. It's literally a true toss up. I would like to say I lean the Nets, but it's hard to find spots for the Magic. Let's see, country foot game. It'll be interesting. Will Nets go on a slide since losing KD, kind of like Wizards here at home? Yeah, I couldn't talk you off. They've definitely been balling for sure at the house. And when something I don't like betting against a team that's been in their home arena for a while. Certain teams don't really fare well being at the house for a while, running around the family. Other teams get super comfortable, get hot offensively, shooting in the same arena. No real environmental shift in there, guys. So we'll see what happens in this one. Be a damn good game to watch or live bet. I'd like to say I lean the Nets. If they're going to stack up some wins, and when they obviously won't miss KD as much, will be on the road when they can at least still have Kyrie and Harden out there. Like I said, they played a good game last game. Harden just pissed it away at the end. We'll see if the Wizards can defend Harden and Kyrie. I think that's where the Nets have the advantage in this game. Harden, Kyrie, obviously the Wizards have the advantage with, I'm not going to say Kuzma, even though he's been balling, but I'm talking about size advantage. Harrell and Gafford, like they will probably eat versus the Nets in this one, guys. So Harden and Kyrie should go off. Maybe Patty Mills, guys like that. They have the guard advantage, in my opinion, offensively and defensively. Patty Mills, guys like Brown. We'll see if Bembry comes in this one. They got some defenders over at Beal and Dinwiddie. Let's see what happens in this one, guys. It's not something I'm super strong on. I can literally see this game going either way. When it happens, I usually stay off, man. We got the Timberwolves versus the Hawks here, unfortunately, and obviously this was going to give me a much stronger. Oh boy, I'm so pissed. I hate it when everyone's on one side. Everyone on the Wolves. Oh, they up by 1. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens in this one. They up by 1, but regardless of that, let's talk about this game. The Timberwolves. Now, the coach says it's go time. It's time for these guys to stack up some wins. They're 8-3-1 against the spread last 12 road games. They're also 5-2-1 against the spread last 8 on a back-to-back. So I wouldn't necessarily be scared to ride the Timberwolves off a back-to-back. It is a tough trip coming up from New York down to Atlanta, but obviously the Hawks have been struggling, guys. They've really been struggling at the house. Now, after coming off their win Martin Luther King Day, which they likely had fixed for them. I don't care anybody watching that game. Refs had Hawks all in their pocket. I'm telling you this. I know a lot of people was on the books. They got I even personally had some on the books -4, and I'm not just saying. I watched the game. Calls all over the Hawks. The refs had Hawks money line in their pocket. All right, I'm just messing around. But Hawks now 1-11 against the spread and straight up last 12 home games. They still 28th in defense last 5 games. Now you got the Hawks. They're, like I say, they're 30th in net rating last 5 games. The Timberwolves number 1. Hawks dead last. Timberwolves number 1. Also the Timberwolves number 1 in offense last 5 games, and so they're number 1 in offense. And then you got the sorry guys, 30th. Timberwolves number 1 offense. The Hawks 17th offense over the last 5 games. Got notes all over the place, man. Just trying to bring you guys as much info as possible. Timberwolves 3-2 straight up against the spread on a back-to-back as well. Last 5 games, guys. So we'll see what happens in this one. I can only look towards Timberwolves. In theory, you could argue that the Hawks are due to get hot at the house after being so terrible, losing 11 straight home games. I could see it. It is a tough travel spot for the Wolves. We'll see what. This is a tough game, guys. I'll be honest. You see, with these tight spreads, they could literally go either way. Like it's Timberwolves or nothing for me for the Hawks the way they've been playing. But the counter narrative is to say the Hawks are due to streak at the house. My thing, they just don't play enough defense. I don't know if they'll have enough defense to hang with the Wolves here. We have to look and see how many starters played in that one. The starters' minutes. Let's see what happens in this one. Timberwolves, man. Hopefully we catch this with the Timberwolves, guys. Heavy lean the Timberwolves. I understand the counter narrative with the Hawks saying they're due to come up at the house. They have the rest advantage as well. That's why you see the Hawks favorite their minus 2. I'm sorry, I can't take them. What are you guys thinking in the chat, man? What do you think? Can you take the Shark? Can you take the Hawks at the house? Jay went addicted to this game like Jordan Payton. Addicted to exactly, man. Different over game. Are Wolves good on back-to-back? Yeah, they're 5-2-1 ATS last 8, and last 5 they're 3-2 straight up and against the spread this year. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible, my guys. Do you think Joker going to get more foul calls? Why do you say it? No, Hawks no bet after one game. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah, the Hawks, that was some other shit right there, man. But let's get to the next games. Timberwolves are nothing for me personally. I likely won't be betting it, especially with the Timberwolves coming from New York down to Atlanta. It's a tough travel spot, but Timberwolves still the only way I could look. If they're looking to stack up some wins, you got to win versus weaker defensive opponents versus like the Hawks, man, because they're still missing Capella. So look, last time, and it's a revenge spot as well. The Hawks beat them 121-110 on December 6th. They still had Capella there. They don't have tonight. Now D'Lo and Beverly was out. So I think the Timberwolves with full squad should be able to come in there and get them. Obviously, they're coming off a tough game tonight. It's the only way I can look, guys. Let's go over here to the Hornets versus Celtics. Sorry, I'm going to be flipping back and forth for this damn game, man. It's tight, too. I'm going to be flipping back and forth for this one, my guys. But Hornets versus 76ers. Hornets versus the Celtics here. You got the Celtics 8-2 straight up and against the spread. Last 10 meetings, they're somewhat on the Hornets of late. Obviously, it was different Hornet teams, probably going back to the Bobcats. No, not that far, guys. But the Celtics, obviously different teams as well. They're 9-1-1 last 11 meetings in Boston. So they've owned the Hornets in just past meetings period. They've also owned them in Boston as well. Celtics 4th in defense last 5 games, 12th in offensive rating. You got the Celtics number 2 in. Hold on real quick, guys. I tripped out real quick. Celtics number 4 in defense last 5 games. And then you got the Hornets 12th Celtics 12th in offense, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna start getting my notes even up here, man. But still, you know what I'm trying to say. Celtics have been balling out, playing some really good defense. Now the Hornets, these guys have been playing some defense as well, guys. But I still think their offense has really fallen off a cliff. It's actually pretty crazy. They're 24th in offense last 5 games. Could you believe that the Hornets, the way that they run and gun, are 24th in offense last 5? So and 12th in defense. So we'll see what happens with that one. I could only look towards this. I can't say I only look towards the Celtics. Hornets obviously have some ballers in this when they come to play. I know that Kelly Oubre is questionable here. LaMelo Ball, is he going to play? He was out last game. Then he's available. Still didn't play, though. He came from back in the locker room. He probably has some type of illness, guys. So there's something to watch for as well. Will LaMelo Ball play in this one? Because he's not on the injury report, but if he's sick, they might decide to hold him out. He could be throwing up during the game. So you see what happens there when Robert Williams is back. Now, Smart is questionable, so this line is going to move all over the place. Now, to going even deeper, the Hornets are 4th in points in the paint. The Celtics are 4th best in defending points in the paint. So what the Hornets do well, the Celtics can defend well with Robert Williams III and Al Horford down there. Now, the Hornets, they attempt the 6th most three-pointers. The Celtics 12th best at three-point defense, guys. So this may be a good matchup for the Celtics here. As far as defensively, if the Hornets don't have Oubre, no one really to lock up Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, and that's what you need when you're going up against the Celtics. This line has come down. I believe it was at 5.5. It's down to 4.5. The Celtics did beat them earlier this year in overtime, but this is one I know that the Hornets will probably want some revenge. They are still the better home team, though. I still think that the Hornets turn up when they get to the house. On the road, they do have some deficiencies on the road, guys. So let's see what happens in this one. These boys up by 2 with 10 seconds left, man. What are we gonna do? The sweat, man. The sweat. Let's see what happens though. Yeah, that game that, like I said, I'm just trying to come and give you the info. I hadn't bet anything on this one yet, but I do lean the Celtics right now. There are some injuries on both sides in this one. What are you guys thinking in the chat for this one? He said, I want to bet 76ers, my guy. Might have Melo a game to get right before I touch Charlotte. King Dre says under in a Hornets game is very risky. Charlotte, if ball is available. Down to earth, my guy. Yeah, it could be. Hey, like say they what's call it Hornets on the road are not the same team. That's a good point. Down to earth, yeah, I like that. Wolves for sure. Let me see here. Yeah, and they did that versus Philly. The Sixers had owned them, and then they went up there in Philly and won straight up. Like I say, this is a little bit of a different beast. They have the two offensive guys, Tatum and Brown. You get to running and gunning with them, and you're not playing your best defense. The Celtics will blow your ass out. Like seriously, they definitely will. They will blow your ass out. Definitely one of the more up and down teams. We'll see. This is a tough game, man. I'll be honest. I can make arguments for the Hornets. I could make arguments from the Hornets. When I can make arguments from both sides, I usually stay away. There is a game that I'm liking tonight, though. We got a spot tomorrow that I'm liking. Let's go to this Blazers versus Heat game, guys. This is a shitload of games, guys. On this, I'm gonna try to stop saying guys as much, but it's a boatload of games on this damn card. Let's go to this. We're going to the streets of Miami here. We got the Blazers versus the Heat. Heat 5-1 straight up last 6-1 against the spread last 7. This is the fourth game of their homestand. They're playing some really good basketball. Still no Kyle Lowry, unfortunately. 5-2 ATS the last 7 meetings versus the Blazers. They already went up there earlier this year and beat them. The Heat laid -2.5 in that game. They won 115-109. I came on here and told you guys that top spot. Now you got these guys. Now, the line is all over the Heat here. Open up at -9. Blazers are playing better. It's crazy. They're playing better, but they're still 3-9 against the spread last 12 road games versus winning teams. It's what they're going up against now. Now, they are 4-1 straight up and against the spread last 5 games. 4th straight road game for the Blazers. They're 6th in defensive rating last 5, and the Heat are 12th in defensive rating last 5. Blazers 28th in offensive rating, which won't be good up against this Heat defense last 5. And the Heat offensive rating is 4th, and they're also 4th in rebounded. So I could see the Heat here, if you ask me, man. I could see the Heat getting this one done, my guys. Let's see what happened. Oh, they won by 2, guys. So if you got the early one -1, they cashed. If you got the -2.5, -3, they did, man. That's tough. I always like to give the updated line. Not everybody does that, but I always try to give the updated line to what everybody can get. But those close games, hey, you bet the money line, guys. Bet the money line those close games. It's gonna be a tough spot for the Timberwolves tomorrow. We see what happens in that one. Yeah, Heat in this one, guys. The only way I can look here, like I said, I know Heat and the under. Without them and Lowry, I could see this game going under. The Blazers, like I say, have actually been playing some better defense, and their offense has been trash. So what does it say? It says they're a damn good under team right now. Let's go over here. That's it for me on that one. That's the only way I will look is Heat and under in that one. Let's go over here to the streets. We got the Cavs versus the Bulls here, guys. The Cavs versus the Bulls. Bulls, revenge spot. They lost the last 4 games versus the Cavs. It's going to be tough to bet against the Cavs. I may do something in this one. I won't necessarily tell anyone to fade the Cavs. These guys are juggernauts right now. When I seen them cover their game versus the Thunder, that showed me that this team is like relentless. They can cover pretty much any spot. It was a terrible spot for them. Came back from down 20 and ended up winning by 5. It was a crazy game. This, like I say, the Bulls, they are starting to fall off. Lost 4 straight, 1-3. We'll see what happens in this one. Embarrassed the last couple of home games. The Bulls were absolutely embarrassed the last couple of home games. So we'll see if they bounce back in this one. For me personally, the Bulls, the only way I can look. I understand that you guys want to take the Cavs. I couldn't talk you off that. It's a definitely toss-up type of game. The Cavs are favored here. A lot of people will be betting them, just betting the streak. Bulls are none for this better. I don't know. It's a tough game. I won't tell anyone to take the Bulls or to fade the Cavs, but me personally, it's Bulls or nothing for me in this spot, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Milwaukee. A couple of more games here. I'll probably leave the last 4 for tomorrow, and plus I didn't get a chance to finish them, guys. We got the Grizzlies versus the Bucks here. Bucks laying -6. They're 1-4 straight up and 2-6 straight up. 2-6 straight up and against the spread last 8 games, 1-4 straight up last 5. They need Drew Holiday ASAP. Who do they have questionable tomorrow? Drew Holiday is possible to come back in this one. They have not lost 3 in a row since early season. Still 7th in defense. The Bucks are still 7th in defense, even with being 2-6 straight up last 8. The Grizzlies are 13th in defense. Now you got the Bucks; they're 29th in offense. I don't even know how that's possible. 29th in offense, last 5. Grizzlies 16th. You look at the road team has won and covered 6 out of the 7 last meetings. You won't have Desmond Bane. You won't have Dylan Brooks this time around. And Grayson Allen is on a different team. Now Grayson Allen is on the Bucks. Crazy feeling for me. I actually think the Bucks gonna smack the Grizzlies up here. I looked at it the past couple years coming with the Grizzlies head on the road coming off that MLK day, they get blown out. I could really see the Bucks bouncing back in this one. Oh, if they get Drew Holiday back, I'll definitely be betting the Bucks in this one, guys. They need him back. That's the reason why they're 29th in offensive rating. Soon as they get Holiday back, I think the switch will flip, just like Jazz with Gobert back over there. So Bucks -6. The only way I can look in that one. I know the trendy dog will be the Grizzlies in this one, but I'm looking towards the Bucks in this one. That's the only way that I can look. But like I say, you guys bet what you want. Let's go over here to the streets of Dallas. Here we got the Mavs versus the Raptors, guys. Mavs. You got the Raptors here at sitting at +4, man. I do like the Raptors in this game. Mavs beat them 103-95. They laid 4.5 on the road. Now they come back to the house laying 4. That's not right. They should be laying 7.5 points here. The line is obviously all over the Raptors. You got the Raptors 8-1 against the spread after allowing 100 or more points. They're also 5-0 against the spread following the ATS loss. Both of those trends are in play in this game, and it's also a huge look-ahead spot for the Mavs, guys. They have the Suns on deck the next day. On the 20th, a double revenge spot versus the Suns, the top spot over there in the West. So which one do you care more about? Are you going to bring your energy versus the Raptors, an Eastern Conference opponent that you already beat earlier this year, or are you going to save your energy versus the top team in the West over there in the Suns that's on the last game of their 4-game road trip? What am I thinking? I'm thinking that the Mavs going to be looking ahead. I see them losing this game outright. I'll be on the Raptors +4 and the money line against my Mavs. I think that they'll be looking ahead. Even if they kind of get down close game, they'll be looking ahead to their Suns game the next night. It's a much bigger spot for them, which means a whole lot more as well. Western Conference opponent, double revenge. All this look ahead spot. Give me the Raptors +4 in this one, guys. And I'll also be betting them on the money line. Mavs are number 1 defense last 5. The Raptors number 18th defense last 5. Offensive rating, the Mavs are number 19th last 5, whereas the Raptors are number 27th. But I do think that they can be able to get some things going in this one. Maybe the Mavs don't bring their best game. That's what I'm banking on, for them to look ahead to the Suns. And I think that's why the line is so short as well. The books know, man. Give me the Raptors +4 and the money line official play. That's actually my best spot on the board so far, guys. Let's go over here to this Spurs spot. This is the last game that I'm going to talk about tonight. Then I'm going to get out of here. 4 more games we'll save for tomorrow. Got my guy Ski Profit coming on the morning show, man. I'll also be doing a later show as well, as always. You got the Spurs here. 7 Spurs versus the Thunder here. 7th. This is the 5th game of a 7-game homestand for the Spurs, guys. 5th game of a 7-game homestand. You got a revenge spot. They lost 3 in a row to the Thunder already. They lost earlier this year. They're 4-0 against the spread, following a double-digit loss at the house. I really see the Spurs possibly breaking out in this game. Obviously, the first few home games, you lost the one versus the Rockets. You're supposed to lose that one. You come off of a 7-game road trip. Then you lose to let's see what they lost at. They lost to the Cavs. Obviously, the Cavs just had the major size advantage over them. You beat the Clippers. You lost to the Suns, which they were in that game. They just pissed it away late. This is the game where I think the Spurs really break out, win in a blowout, a win by double-digit points. I'll also probably be doing Spurs Bucks money line parlay. That's what I'll probably be doing. I like the Spurs. I like the Bucks. Obviously, it's getting up there with the spread. But I do think that both of them will win easily. I'll definitely be on the Raptors. I'll be taking Spurs Bucks money line parlay. I like both of them. I actually heavy lean to Spurs and the Bucks as well to cover the spreads, guys. So let me go over the plays and give out some free picks before I get out of here. Like I say, I'm gonna save the Raptors, Jazz, Clippers, Nuggets, Pistons, Kings, and Pacers, Lakers for tomorrow's early morning show with my guy Ski Profit. Let's get into some free plays real quick. Let me look at Raptors top. Yeah, Raptors plus the 4 is my spot tomorrow, guys. Raptors plus the 4, and I'll also be playing the money line as well. I like the Spurs, I like the Bucks as well, but what I'll probably do is go ahead and do a Bucks Spurs money line parlay instead of laying the points with those guys. I do still think that the Bucks can cover that 6. I think they will, and I also think that the Spurs will cover as well. But I think that parlay is definitely safer, my guys. Obviously, the Grizzlies game, they could definitely keep it close. But Raptors plus the 4 for me, top play tomorrow. I will have even more plays, guys, especially on those later games as well. I'll be on the Raptors tomorrow. Look ahead spot for my Mavs. Give me the Raptors and they'll in the revenge spot, line all over them. Double revenge spot on the deck for the Mavs going up against the top team in the West versus Suns. That game means a lot more. Yeah, the Bucks need their point guard. I do think they'll get Drew Holiday back tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate the hell out of y'all for tuning in. Let's go Raptors, guys. Let's get some cash. I hope you guys had Timberwolves minus the 1 or maybe bought it down to 2 or the money line. Like I say, I always try to – I did tweet out that minus 2.5, but that was just me this morning trying to give you guys the most updated line, guys. This is how I roll. It's all business over here. It's all professionalism. We appreciate the hell out of you guys for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, go and follow me on Twitter at JMoneyIsMoney. Come back and tune in for the live show with me and my guy Ski Profit at 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central. We out. Let's cash.